From the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce, my name is Melissa Reichert. I'm the president of the chamber, and I thank each and every one of you for being here today. We have had just a whirlwind couple of weeks here at the Heart of Wisconsin with our annual meeting last week, where we were able to honor a number of area businesses and the Citizen of the Year. Yesterday, we spent a great day with the Heart of Wisconsin Community Leadership Program, and Rick McCoca helped us out with touring the area and looking at the economic development that's going on in the community. If anybody wants to tell you that this area is not a great place to raise a family or there aren't jobs available, talk to any one of the employers that are here in this room, because I think they'll tell you a little bit different of a story. So we're really proud to be here. We really would like to thank our sponsors, Domtar, Heartland Farms, and Urkel Worldwide. We have, once again, the best moderator for this event, Mr. Craig Tim of Domtar, and he's going to take you through this. He'll tell you the rules. If you see me waving like this means you went on too long, and we'll be going on to the next person, okay?
Why did you look at Mr. Krug when you said that?
Well, there's always duct tape, because to keep someone here first. But anyways, Mr. Craig.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Again, we're glad to have everyone here today. We want to be fairly informal, but as you can see, which is great, we have a lot of people here. And also like to thank all of you, especially that are either currently in office or seeking office. It's quite a commitment, as you know, and we thank, as citizens, we thank all of you for doing that. I know it's especially in today's world, it's nothing is easy, as they say. You just take a trip to DC or Madison and you'll find it out fairly quickly. Also like to thank, of course, the Heart of Wisconsin. Also like to thank our folks from River City's Community Media. They are filming this morning, so you will see that on Charter and also Solaris Cable sometime coming up in the future. So thank you for that. What I'd like to do is just quickly go around the room. We'll start with Mark over here and just kind of introduce yourselves, just who you're with, etc. But I need to, as we hit the third person there, I don't know if you happen to see in the Tribune or online, we actually had the opportunity at Domtar we had a new employee with us this week. He's actually a Wisconsin senator, but he actually, Mr. Teston, Patrick Teston, actually, we hired him. He started his work day at 8, he left at 3, and I think we fired him at 3. It's actually, he was on the job at Domtar, and actually it was a neat experience for both us as a company and also for him. And he actually, so if you need anybody that needs to test some paper or cut some cores or any of that kind of stuff, do some welding, he's your guy. So anyway, Mark, if we just start with you, and then we'll just kind of head around the rooms. Mark Ellis, we'll start. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark Swanson.
Mark Ellis, I'm president of Corenzo, located here in Wisconsin Rapids.
Good morning, Sylvain Brito, general manager of Domtar Nicusa.
Patrick Teston, state senator for the 24th Senate District.
I am Rich Moon. I work at Domtar as a controller.
Good morning, David Sams. The southern accent, I just live right over here, south side of town, so Wisconsin Rapids. Verso Corporation, I'm the mill manager here at the paper mill. The rumors you hear that we have been sold are untrue, that we are closing is untrue. So I know there are a lot of rumors around. The mill is healthy and Verso is very healthy, and it's good to see everybody.
Hello, I'm Dawn Jensen. I'm the technical manager at Urkel Worldwide in Port Edwards.
Mark Swenson, plant manager, Urkel Worldwide.
Good morning, Arnie Nystrom, Grand Rapids chairman.
Jerry Wiesner, past Town of Rome board member and running for re-election.
Bob Ryder, current Town of Rome board member.
Mike Miller, town administrator, Town of Rome.
Good morning, Rick McCoca, Town of Rome board supervisor and regional economic director. Patrick, I heard you got a little fourth handing in on paper machines.
I did.
That's not one of the best jobs.
Andrew Simon, appointed town supervisor in Grand Rapids and seeking re-election in the spring election.
Rob Mansky, the Chief of Staff and Legislative Liaison at UWC. Point.
Miguel Velasquez, retired. He's living here in Rapids. Nice town.
Judy Velasquez. I work for the City of Wisconsin Rapids at the Street Department, and I'm running for City Clerk.
Morning, Scott Kirk, State Representative, 72nd Assembly District.
Joel Llewellyn, a police officer with Wisconsin Rapids Police Department, and also a candidate for Wood County Sheriff.
Llewellyn,
Good morning, Zach Brewing, Mayor of the City of Wisconsin.
Keith Hetzel, candidate for Mayor of Wisconsin Rapids.
Heather Gritz-Slick, Manager Continuing Ed at Mid-State Technical College.
Tom Belter, and I don't know if the camera's on me, but if it is, I apologize for that. Chief Medical Officer at Spires-Bridge Hospital.
We can edit that out.
Adam Tagan, City of Wisconsin Rapids Community Development Department.
Lisa Skiba, Vice President of Ancillary Service at Aspires for Riverview.
Heather McKellops, Director of Learning and Engagement at Encourage.
Paul Shabilsky, and I'm the City Clerk for the City of Wisconsin Rapids.
Good morning. Craig Bernstein, Mid-State Technical College, Division of Workforce and Economic Development, and I am the Workforce Development Manager.
Scott Kissinger, I'm an attorney here with Podman and Kissinger Law Firm.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Adam Decline, the Wood County Planner.
Hello, Madeline Petz. I work for the City of Wisconsin Rapids in the Community Development Department.
Ed Altman, Altman Construction. We had Tyson at our job site for a day. I don't think he had any hit any fingernails or anything like that, so he came back with all his fingers.
Good year.
Nina Taylor, Director of Business Development and Community Relations at Aspires Riverview and Chairman of the Chamber Board.
I'm Gordon Crowe with Synergy, Regional Economic Development Organization, and Melissa and Rick are on my board of directors, and I want to acknowledge them and their great work. Representing you down here.
Peter Ashbeck, Wood County Sheriff's Captain and current jail administrator running for Wood County Sheriff.
I'm Mike Martin. I'm running for Grand Rapids Town Supervisor.
Bill Kennedy, Wood County Board, and also a Town of Grand Rapids Supervisor.
David Gorski, candidate for the 72nd Assembly District.
Chris Riley, local geek and outspoken person, candidate for Wood County Board.
Bob Shearer, graduate of Mid-State Technical College, UWSP, Go Pointers, and I'm running for Wood County Board, Supervisor, District 18, also the Nakusa School District. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. What I'll do is we're going to just take them in order here, and we're going to try to limit you to a couple minutes to just introduce yourself, give us a little background, and why you're either seeking re-election or you are seeking a first term. And we'll start in the City of Wisconsin Rapids. We'll start with the mayor and Zach Brewing, who are your leadoff.
All right. Well, good morning again. It's great to be with all of you this morning, and thank you all for showing up to hear from all of us that are running for office, so you can all be more equipped in whether you're at the ballot or your friends or your families are at the ballot box wanting to hear about our positions. As well as the candidates for seeking elected office. As Craig has said, it's a tireless and thankless job oftentimes, but it's certainly worth it. And I think holding the position is really valuable and rewarding for those of us that have had the privilege and the opportunity to do so. Having held the position now since 2012, I'll say my commitment to this community's success and progress really remains as steadfast as it was when I first sought the office of mayor in 2012. I firmly believe that my educational background in public administration from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, as well as my experience starting and growing a business right here in Wisconsin Rapids, combined with my generational perspective, albeit maybe a atypical millennial, has equipped me well to serve the city of Wisconsin Rapids and its residents. We've had some achievements, and we've laid a strong foundation for achieving others. And that's really what continues to draw me to the position to continue to serve. I think economically, while the data shows signs of recovery in our city from the days of the early 2000s when dramatic economic shock rocked our region, we continue to lag the state's recovery and indicators, and that's concerning to me. More people might be working today, but I should say, as firms that continue to hire and add jobs, whether it's in healthcare with Aspirus or in food processing, such as Mariani and others in the community, or those more legacy industries like Verso and Domtar, who continue to rehire after retirements as generations leave the workforce. And then obviously those that have been entrepreneurial and started businesses themselves to employ themselves. And as I said, the economy might be more stable today, but the flip side is the data shows that it's not as rosy of a picture for all, especially certain zip codes in the Wisconsin Rapids area. And wage growth continues to lag, putting pressure, I think, on families and their ability to raise their children. Educational attainment is still less than other places in Wisconsin and the nation. As well as putting pressure on people becoming and staying underemployed and maybe not professionally progressing as well as they should, as well as segments of our population being plagued with substance abuse and addiction issues, putting a strain on families, but also public resources. And as a result of these challenges, we have and must continue to place a strong emphasis, I believe, on attraction and retention of young talent and workers. And their families. And many of you have told me this. This isn't something new to many of you, or not all of you in the room. And I believe it is such quality of life amenities, such as a strong park system at downtown and recreational opportunities, like our trails and our swimming pool facilities, and the zoo all play a strong role in that. It sounds like the timer's gone off, and that is the peril of being first. But the bottom line is I've built strong public-private partnerships here in the city, and I wish to continue serving in the capacity as mayor because I believe there's a lot of work yet to be done. So thank you.
We hate to have to do the timer thing, but obviously we have a lot of people. But I assure you that if you don't get a chance to ask a question, maybe during our session, I'm sure anybody either in office or running for office would be happy to talk to you after there. I know some folks have asked me about a couple individual issues that they have. Please feel free to talk to those folks. We'll stay in the city of Wisconsin Rapids. Candidate for mayor, Keith Hetzel. Morning, Keith.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me this morning. I didn't come prepared with notes. I'm just going to speak from what I know best. The reason I'm running for mayor is I grew up here. This was a very thriving community. It has gone down. We know that. The mill is probably hiring only about 28% of what it did a number of years ago with 3,500. When I was collecting signatures, one thing that I kept hearing from people was, we need jobs that are going to pay living wages with benefits so that we can raise our families properly. Yeah, there are jobs here, but are they full-time? And you know better than I do. I would make sure that as mayor, we have a master plan in place. The West Side pool was closed because it needed repair, but it's not something that we didn't know about for years. There should have been a plan in place so that the new pool was open, so when the West Side pool was closed, they had something to go to. Same with everything else. I am in favor of the riverfront development. People have tried to tell me that I'm not in favor of the building, I'm not in favor of this. I am in favor of this thing. But we need to be controlled in what we're doing. The riverfront project is going to cost $24 million. The pool, $9 million. Reconfiguration of Meade Field for ball diamonds is slated for this year as well as a subdivision at 25th and Alton. These are all going to take a lot of tax dollars. We seem to be losing tax base, and where does that tax fall? This is what I keep hearing from people. I'm not opposed to these things. I really am in favor of them. My grandfather was a city worker back in the 40s and 50s. He was the founder of the zoo. But my grandmother always said, as I was growing up, he always said, we can't rely just on one industry. We can't just rely on the paper industry. We needed other things, and that kind of went by the wayside. just talking with a business lady the other day because we are trying to sell my parents' home. She's a realtor. She grew up in Plower. She said, when I was growing up, Rapids was the rich community. It was a place to go for your shopping. It was a place to go for your entertainment. Now everything has shifted to Plower. We need to bring that back. One thing that I want to do, and I've done a lot of research on millennials. When in my previous position, I did a training on millennials. Millennials want to work and play where they live. So let's get them in here. But let's recreate our city a little bit so that we have a medical district, we have a business district, we have a financial district, we can have a professional district, we can have all these different districts, so that if we have professionals coming in here, that's what we want, then we know where they're going to be. Because yes, millennials do want to walk to work. They don't want to have a car. They don't want to have to do these other things. So please, let's reconfigure Rapids. Let's rediscover what we have here. Make sure that we're promoting those, but also on top of that. I thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions, I'll be here for a little while, but I do have to get to a job later this morning. So thank you.
As we go here, a couple of the folks, several of the races are the folks were not able to attend, but I thought I would just read those off. The candidates for Wisconsin Rapids City Council, District 2, that'll be incumbent Todd Furkey and Lee Graff. Those are the two candidates that you'll see working for that particular office. Staying in the city of Wisconsin Rapids, the city clerk position, Paul Przybelski, please.
Hi, my name is Paul Przybelski, and I'm running for the City of Wisconsin Rapids City Clerk. I was appointed City Clerk by the Common Council in May of 2016. During my time at City Hall, I have decreased my office's budget twice while increasing efficiency through reviewing old processes and implementing new revitalized processes such as in-person or early absentee voting schedules. I have administered so far 7 open and fair elections, including a presidential election, which saw one of the largest primary turnouts in the city's history. I wish to continue in this capacity because I'm experienced in carrying out new and ever-changing election laws. I'm involved in many city initiatives, such as the Mayor's Youth Council and Aquatics Fundraising Committee. I have a great working relationship with city staff, and I genuinely enjoy serving the citizens of Wisconsin Rapids on a daily basis. I'd just like to thank the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce for giving me the opportunity to speak today. And for those of you in the room who reside in the city, I hope that I can get your vote on April 3rd. Thanks.
Thank you. Again, Wisconsin Rapids City Clerk position, Judy Velasquez. Morning, Judy.
Morning.
Notice how we're putting everybody under the spotlight?
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's actually for television.
Hi, my name is Judy Velasquez, and I'm running for City Clerk. I have worked for the street department for 12 years, for the city for 22 years. And I enjoy what I do at the street department. I enjoy working with the public. The reason I want to run for city clerk, and this job has come open previously, but it wasn't quite the right time for me. It is the right time now. I'm ready to take this job on, and I'm excited about it. While I was working, I'll talk a little bit about my qualifications. While I was working for the street department, I went back to school. I never had the opportunity after I graduated high school. My parents didn't have a lot of money. And I started with my associate's degree. And I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the challenge. So in 3.5 years, I ended up with a master's in business management and with social sustainability. And I never got a chance. I'm still working for the street department after I graduated. I was looking for an opportunity where I could use my education. And I think the city clerk job is the perfect place for me. I have had, working with the public is probably my strong suit. I've people call me, they need information. I mean, most of the time I have the answers. If I don't, I know where to send them. It's just 22 years with the city, you develop that. I think my experience with the city goes a long way, probably even stronger than my education sometimes when it comes to working with people. Let me see. I guess where I wanted to go then from there is that after I got my degree, I continued to work for the city, and then I lost my place, didn't I? I was afraid that was going to happen. But I just feel that when looking at the city clerk's job, that there's a lot of things that could be improved. The dissemination of information to the public, I think we could do a lot better on our websites, just reaching out to the people, more than just on a 9-to-5 basis, but I think that it's a full-time job. You know, I am actively involved in the community, and even with the process I've started now, I go door to door and talk to people, and just outreaching to see what needs improvement and what we can do better, you know, what we're doing right, and I really care about doing a good job. Once I got into the city clerk's office, I want to just look at the processes and evaluate, see what we can do better, what we can streamline, where we can cost money or save money. And I just hope that on April 3rd that I can have your support. Thank you.
Also, candidates are not present this morning, but just for your information for the Wisconsin Rapids School Board, Larry Davis, Katie Bielski Medina, Troy Byer, and John Benbow Jr. Those are the 4 candidates. I believe they have 3 open seats, if I'm remembering correctly. Wood County District number 8 Supervisor Brad Creamer and Jake Hahn. They're both from Pittsville area, so that's that area of the county for District 8. And out in Vesper area, District number 9, the 2 candidates will be William Winch and Deb Beadle. So if those of you that are in that neck of the woods, those will be your candidates. Thanks to the art, you probably see all the nice colors. I have to remember what all that means, but that's okay. We are in Rudolph Rapids area for Wood County District number 10. Brian Slinkman and Mark Holbrook are the two candidates there. Wood County District number 14, that gets back into the city of Rapids, Dennis Pollock and Jay Jackson. And now we are on Wood County District number 16, Chris K.P. Riley, please. Welcome, good morning. And that is also the Wisconsin Rapids area, Grand Rapids area.
Both, actually.
Both? Oh, okay. Good morning, thank you.
Good morning. This gets to me my first public speaking thing, so aren't we going to have fun with this? I'm Chris Riley. I grew up here, graduated with Scott actually, joined the Marines, got married, had a couple kids, back here, geeked out in all sorts of things. I like my computers, I like engineering, I like construction. Excuse me, of course you get terrible. My stepdad made Herschel's ice cream, and I loved him. 2 years old, going there, watching it get made. I called him honey. He also worked swing shift at the digester operator. Of course, we were in that family. I moved back here 3 years ago from living all over the U.S. And I didn't like what I saw. I guess the best way to put it is the life was gone, but it can come back. I know we have a lot of smart people here. I know we have a lot of strong people here. We have Zach right now, who, I know you do IT because I looked you up. We need to bring a lot of IT and tech in here without losing the traditions that we have. And we can do it. We have the tech college, we have UW, we have the know-how. We just got to get the right people in the right place. I'm pretty outspoken on my opinions, so if any of them offend you, you're just gonna hear them anyways. But what you are gonna hear from me is exactly what I think, exactly what I feel, and exactly what you want me to do for the job. County board doesn't pay that much, so obviously I have some sort of dedication for it. What I do know is I want my Herschel place room back. I want to restore my parents' home where I live now. I want my kids to have a good education. I want drugs gone so bad. People I graduated with on heroin. It's not right. I want jobs that pay here. My husband had to take a job working in Madison. Up at 4 every morning, home at 8 every night. Down in Madison, so we can survive. Why? We have jobs here that we can expand on. We have places that we can make areas or make jobs that support families. So let's do it. And even if I don't get elected April 3rd, you're still going to hear from me.
Thank you. Again, that was Wood County, that's district number 16. The candidates Chris Riley and Lance Plimwell are the two candidates for that race. Now, Ms. Timer, the next gentleman, because of the way the schedule, he actually gets double time because he's running for 2. So we are at Wood County. We'll start with Wood County District number 18, and that's you're listed as Robert Shear.
Yes.
And then Brad Hamilton is the other candidate. And then our 2 mayoral candidates for the city of Nakusa, that's Al Marco and Dan Carlson, are not here. And since you're running for the school board, that's the next one. So we'll save you a trip. We'll have you come up once for both positions. And your choice, you can start with supervisor or with the school board.
I'll start with the supervisor.
Okay.
Thank you all for bringing this forum together, and thanks for allowing me to come and talk to you. As I grew up in Nakusa, I remember walking down to the river, seeing this opaque slime come across the river. I remember watching it foam up along the riverbanks. And then a few days later, I used to see the fish floating belly up or sideways or whatever way they floated. And then I thought, what blazes is going on in my river? I can't eat the fish. I can't fish in here. And by God, some days it stinks. Then I got older and I got smarter. Yeah, I got into my teen years. And I started reading. And I read 2 books that just changed my life. Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold. Talked about environment. Talked about an environmental consciousness, something that we're lacking nowadays. And then I ran across a book about butterflies. And I thought, okay, butterflies, this is going to be good. It turned out to be Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring. That book was awesome because it explained what the heck we were doing to ourselves. We were killing our planet. We're going to do it first with the rivers because we had free shot at it. We had a mill on it. And then we were going to do it with pesticides, DDT, which went back to around World War II, Vietnam. Look what it did to our Vietnam troops. I work at a nursing home. I see the after effects of DDT. There's a large incidence of diabetes among our veterans from Vietnam. Anyway, that book taught me a lot. We saved the eagles because somebody developed a social consciousness and stopped making DDT available. Now we still got a problem. We're killing off butterflies because we freely spread Roundup over everything that we can spray it on, and nobody wants to stop it. Chemical companies say, oh, it's good for you. But so will DDT. And that's what made me want to run for Wood County Board. Because at the Wood County Board, that is the last stop before something totally wrong goes on. Republican legislature and our governor passed a mining bill, AB 449, ferrous metallic mining regulations. The companies love it. They're going to come here and mine whatever they want, pull it out of the ground. They're going to have stuff flying through the air, piled on the sand, piled on the ground. Our animals that we let run through the wilderness are going to run through it. They're going to track it, and they'll start dropping dead, like eagles, butterflies, whatever else. So the Wood County Board, in my opinion, is the last stop before this goes insane. And if you're looking at me like I'm an ultra conservative, I'm not. I'm just pissed. If you look at me and listen to me talk and find me on Facebook every once in a while, I'm an independent moderate. I don't like Republicans, I don't like Democrats who are bought off by chemical companies, the rich people. I don't have time for that. If they're bought, they're not representing us, they're representing the persons or groups or companies that bought them. I want to support responsible management of our resources and our environment, which includes people. We have kids out there running in the fields, going hunting, eating the food that they harvest in the woods, in the fields. We got to look out for them at the board level, because at some levels they've been bought off. And if you think I'm really nuts, well, I'm not. I'm a friend of small business. I believe small business is where we can grow, we can make things, and we can adapt quicker than with large companies. I'm also like the family farm. They're more responsible because they have direct impact on the grounds that they have their farm. They see how their farming practices are affecting the land. Corporate farmers, CAFOs, oh my God, they don't care. Their animals are put in sheds to produce milk, beef, manure, and whatever else that comes out of that building. And it's spread all over the place. We don't care about nitrates. Heck, we can drink nitrates all we want. We just die quicker. So, no, I'm not a friend of politicians. As you can tell, I think some are going to be disappointed with me tonight. I'm also committed to responsible government. I think we need to listen to the people. I was at a board meeting where they talked about the Amish buggies and what the Amish got to do to fit into our society. Well, I said, well, that's pretty unrealistic. What we have is a culture gap, and we did nothing to address the culture gap. They have their culture, which is built on their years of following their traditions and their beliefs. They're harmless people. They're not out to get us. But they have a set way of life that's very simplistic, and they're not drawing a lot of resource on the land. And then there's us. You got to do this, 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 and then you can use our road. Well, how about we do something different? If you want to use our roads, let's do something simple. Is that first point?
That's actually
wow.
You want to say you're also running for school board.
Okay, I'm also running for school board.
Again, just to recap, Wood County District 18, Robert Scheer, candidate, and also Brad Hamilton, when Brad is the incumbent. City of Nakusa, mayor incumbent is Al Marco. Dan Carlson is his opponent. Nakusa School Board, Bob Scheer, obviously as you heard from. Brian Mahan, Cody Przybisky, and Dave Schmidt are the candidates there. Now we're going to move to Madison, although they'd rather be in Rapids area, I'm guessing. But Assembly District 72, David Gorski is candidate for that. David lives in Wisconsin Rapids.
Good morning. I want to thank the Chamber for inviting me and giving me a chance to say a few words. And hey, where else can you get a $35 breakfast, right? Yeah, so I'm a retired school counselor from Nakusa. I was also their drug and alcohol prevention specialist. And I was also their at-risk coordinator there. I'm currently working for the Wisconsin Rapid School System as a homebound instructor. I work with students that get expelled. Usually they're special education students. And I also work as a substitute teacher. I really believe in small businesses, and I make an effort to always shop at our locally owned businesses before I go to the big box stores. And I did the same thing during the campaign we had last time. I tried to do a lot of business with Warren down at the print shop and Pat down at the UPS store and whoever runs Rapid Signs. I don't remember his name. And I'm also, at this time, I'm a member of Citizen Action. Citizen Action, it has a program that I think can help our businesses and our environment at the same time. It's called the Property Assessment Clean Energy Program. And the way this program works is that you can get a low interest loan to install solar panels on your business. And as long as the cost of your electric bill now is greater than your payment, you qualify. Also right now, Citizen Action is working with the Associated Bank on coming up with a program similar for residential solar application. Wouldn't that be great? We could help our graduates from Midstate, we could help Northwind Solar and Stevens Point. I don't know if we have any local solar companies here or not, but if we did, we could help them. One thing I am concerned about is the Foxconn deal. I just feel what we could have done is taken that same effort and spread that effort statewide to all 72 counties. I feel like we put too many of our eggs in one basket. Maybe we got 10 out of the dozen in that basket, and I wish we would have helped everybody instead of just one area of the state. Another thing I'm concerned about, and as a lot of other people are, roads and our bridges. I think we've dropped the ball on that for ideological reasons, mainly with the governor. I know Pat and Scott certainly would probably like to do something about that. But I think we have to bite the bullet and raise the revenue that needs to be done for that. The other thing I'm concerned about is our student loan debt. We have $24 billion in student loan debt in this state, affecting nearly 1 million people in this state. I have a friend that refinances student loan debt in the state of Minnesota, 3.25%. Keep the millennials here. Support public education, our university system. Work on public transportation. Millennials want this. Thank you.
Thank you. Staying in Madison, Assembly District 72, Scott Crook. Morning, Scott. Morning.
No, sir, yet.
Nope.
All right, go. Morning. I want to thank the Chamber and everybody for being here today. It's one of the biggest crowds we've had for one of these events in a long time, so I'm excited to be here in front of you today telling you about all of the things that you hear about doom and gloom not being a reality right now. Things are really good right now in Wisconsin, especially here in central Wisconsin. The reason they are, I think, is because we deal a lot with local issues in the legislature. Pat and I try to specialize on that because there seems to be a gap. There's a lot of legislators who want to work on the big heady stuff. I like working on local stuff. So my thing is working with the town of Rome, trying to make sure Sand Valley is as big and as beautiful as it can be, to draw more attraction, more jobs, more interest, more infrastructure dollars. My interest is working with Aspirus and trying to figure out what we can do for mental health roundabouts, wraparound services into the future here. My excitement is working with all of our local paper mills, who most of, if not all of them right now, are hiring right now in the state of in central Wisconsin. So when you hear about the doom and gloom of paper making, don't believe it. It's still here. It's still exciting. It's still innovative. It's still new. It's still something that can grow here in central Wisconsin. So my excitement comes from being able to work with all the local stakeholders. We passed a bill last week that kind of spreads those eggs out that Mr. Gorski talked about. We did a Rural Economic Development Fund. $50 million for the next 20 years going into rural counties of the state of Wisconsin, similar to the Foxconn investment, to make sure that everybody has a chance to grow the pie, to hire new employees, to make sure their businesses grow. Now that Economic Development Fund is for 46 out of the 72 counties because we wanted to make sure it's rural focused. And everything we've done in the Rural Wisconsin Initiative the last 4 years builds into rebuilding our rural economic future. making sure our kids can stay in the state of Wisconsin, whether it's here in central Wisconsin because of the Rural Economic Development Fund, or whether it is, by God, to go get a job at Foxconn as an engineer and be able to stay in the state of Wisconsin. So we can imagine a day in the future where when we go have Christmas with our kids, it's actually in Wisconsin instead of having to travel to California or New York or Minneapolis. I'm excited that we did the Foxconn deal here to make sure that we've got a new technology-based company, a new sector entirely in the state of Wisconsin to make sure those new jobs are here. With an aging workforce, we've invested heavily in our workforce development. We're making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that everybody in the state of Wisconsin who wants a job can have a job and that they're trained for that job. Not just those first two requirements, but making sure we're there to give the training and the effort to be there to be a partner and making sure everybody can get ahead in the state of Wisconsin. It's exciting times right now. I think we've seen a big economic recovery here. I think we've gotten unemployment down to even 3.5% in Adams County, of all places in the state of Wisconsin. It's amazing. 400 some jobs in Sand Valley right now, looking to double that in the next 10 years. That project's going to grow and grow and grow and bring other big investments with it. So when you talk about how we get things done in Madison and the effect it has locally, when we work on those local issues, we all win. When all the stakeholders are involved, we all get things done together. So thanks for your time today and thanks for being here.
So when you're in the chamber speaking, does the president beep too and tell you to sit down? Or?
Well, usually he tells me not to start.
Oh. Those of you that live in the Nakusa area and south, of course, State Representative Nancy Vandermeer is also up for re-election. In the 3rd Congressional District, Congressman Ron Kind is being challenged by Myron Buchholz. U.S. Senate race also in Wisconsin this year. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin is seeking her 2nd term. And you probably also heard there is a governor's race too this year. So it's, those of you that are in city government and do the elections, like we talked about this morning, that's going to be a busy time. Let's move to the town of Rome. Sounds like a good place to be. Jerry Weisinger. Jerry, town of Rome, please. And good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me. I served on the Rome Town Board for 3 terms, 6 years, and lost the election last spring by 34 votes. I continued to serve on CDA and Plan Commission, and because of the things that we got started in the 6 years I was on the board, I'd like to be back on the board and see some of this to conclusion. Rick and I were very involved with Sand Valley and developing the TIF and the developers agreement. He and I worked on that together with a couple of attorneys, several attorneys. But there's a lot of great things happening in Rome, and I'd like to, again, be back on the board. Rick decided he's not running, so hopefully I can get elected to his seat. I will not be the spokesman Rick is. I mean, nobody can speak like Rick speaks. With that enthusiasm for developing this area. We got a challenge. We've got new jobs developing out there, but we have no place for the people to stay. So one of our challenges is develop some multi-family housing in the town of Rome, mainly in a business park. And we're looking at, we need a sanitary system in the business park, sewer system. So we got a lot of challenges. So if you're a Roman, I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
The other candidates, Town of Rome, Phil McLaughlin, Bob Berhout, and Lori DiMaggi. There's four candidates seeking seats on the Town of Rome board. We'll move out to Grand Rapids, well represented today. Andrew Simon, we'll start off with Andrew this is for the Town of Grand Rapids board.
First of all, thank you guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this and allowing me the opportunity to speak. I was appointed to the town board by the current board in November 2017, and I am seeking election for the first time here coming up this spring election in April 2018. Just a little bit about my background and kind of who I am and why I want to do that, or be part of the board. I'm a Wisconsin Rapids area resident basically my whole life, other than a couple of years that I lived in Appleton area going to school for criminal justice. I have an associate's degree in criminal justice, and other than that time when I was living there, I've lived in the Wisconsin Rapids area my whole life. My first experience with any type of municipal government at all whatsoever was actually in the town of Grand Rapids when I was young, just in high school. I was in an Explorer program for the police department in the town, and it enabled me an opportunity to learn and understand how government sometimes works or does work, and then also how law enforcement works, and what led me to my career. I worked for the town of Grand Rapids, initially starting out after school as a part-time police officer, was eventually hired as a full-time police officer, and worked my way through the ranks in the department up to the patrol sergeant, which is the second underneath the chief of police in the town. I left the town of Grand Rapids in 2011 and went to the Wood County Sheriff's Department, where I'm presently employed. I worked as a patrol deputy there for a period of time, and then was promoted to an investigator in 2015. During my time, I feel my career really prepares me for this position. I've had the opportunity to interact with a diverse amount of people in our community, not only in just the Grand Rapids specifically area, but also the Wood County area as well, to see what the area needs and interact with some of the community needs. I also do some other things in the community. I teach at Mid-State Technical College as an adjunct instructor in the criminal justice program. I work part-time at the YMCA teaching some fitness classes. I'm very passionate about wellness and health and fitness as well. So as far as my goals and what I would like to bring to the table in terms of being on the board, I would like to, obviously my background brings me to being someone that wants to maintain a high level of public service, being that of the police department, the fire department, and the public works, which is pretty much our whole town. That's what the biggest services that we provide. I would like to maintain those services and keep that going. We were just yesterday, I learned that in SafeWise, which is a program that conducts crime data statistics, we were ranked in Grand Rapids the 7th safest city in the area based upon FBI crime data, which is right here in our backyard. I'm very proud of that number, and I think it's definitely an accomplishment, and I'd like to see us definitely stay on the top of that. I'm definitely interested in town growth, especially keeping and retaining young people. That went fast. If you guys have any other questions or anything about me or my platform or kind of what I'm about, if you're around here for a few minutes afterwards, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and thank you for the time.
Sticking in the town of Grand Rapids, Michael Martin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Martin. I'm running for Grand Rapids Town Board. I'm recently retired. I spent 20 years as Wood County's finance director. My main goal that I bring to the town board, what I can bring to the town board, we all have our own strengths, we all have our own talents. And what I bring is, I've had 37 years of financial management experience. I started out after I graduated from UW Eau Claire. I started out with Whiffley CPAs. I was a CPA with them, specializing in audits of municipal governments. So I've been well aware as far as the financial reporting, the controls that go into it, the use of limited resources. After I left Whiffley, I was at City of Marshfield as deputy finance director, and then I came to Wood County, which I recently retired from. I've had 2 months of experience as being a retired person. But what I did learn on that side of the table, as far as being an employee of government, is that we have limited resources. There's only so much money to go around. And what I brought to the table was that I could see where the areas of growth were hurting us, as far as whether it's in health insurance or wages or growth in the number of people that we had employed. So what I hope to bring is, along with the town staff, is a little bit of help as far as guiding them through their budget process and monitoring the budget and actual as they go through the year. So I'm new to this. I've never run for public office before, but come April 3rd, I hope to bring to the table the 37 years of financial experience and assist the town board in using their limited resources. So, thank you.
Thank you. Town of Grand Rapids, Bill Clendenny.
Bill, only tell the good jokes today.
Okay, I will. It's Bill Clendenny, and that's the only joke I know. I want to thank the Town of Wisconsin. I've been on the town board, I think 8 years in the town of Grand Rapids. I come originally from the Plainfield area. I've lived in the town of Grand Rapids for 25 years. I worked at the paper mill for 38 years. I guess, I don't know how some people are going to take this, but I have a passion for recycling, and I'm the one that has the choose to reuse in the town of Grand Rapids that the city of Wisconsin Rapids uses to their advantage, and probably to our disadvantage. But anyways, my concern in the town of Grand Rapids is the fact that, yes, we have a fire department, we have police department, and the public works, and that's what towns have. You're closest to the people. And in the town of Grand Rapids, you're in the town of Grand Rapids right now. You come up that driveway all the way up here, you're in the town of Grand Rapids. It's what we're getting for our dollars that are spent, the taxpayers. We're now up into $600,000 for our police force. And we also have the state patrol, we also have the county. A full-time police force at one time was voted down in the town of Grand Rapids, and now to this day we do have a full-time police force. I'm concerned about the money that is being spent, but I'm very proud to be a member of the town board. If you watch us on television, you know it's not run by one person because we do have vote differential a lot of times, which is good. But it's also the third largest community in Wood County, and it's also the 13th largest town in the state, where they say Foxconn is going now. Those used to be towns down in that area, and they kind of moved us up the ladder because they became a village. I'm very proud to be in it. Jess Eichhorn, I don't know if any of you remember him, but he was my supervisor at Consolidated Papers, and he got me interested in town government, and I've been in it ever since. So that's all I have. Thank you.
In the village of Buren, all the incumbents, there are no open seats, so they are running unopposed. Susan Carlson, Dan Molsky, and June Sigler, they are the candidates in the village of Buren, so if you're in that neck of the woods. We'll move to Wood County Sheriff, Joel Fluellen.
Morning, Joel.
Good morning, I'm Joel Fluellen. I'm a police officer with Wisconsin Rapids Police Department. I'm a police officer now, going on 27 years. I'm married to my wife, Julie. I have 2 kids, aged 24 and 21. My son works at Verso. My daughter's a senior at Oshkosh. I was born and raised in Wood County. Went to Auburndale High School, graduated in 1989. Have deep roots in the county, both in Rapids and in the center part of the county. My mom still lives in Marshfield. I've lived in Wood County all my life except 3 years when I worked in Loyal at the police department there. It was my first law enforcement job. And we moved back to Wisconsin Rapids in 1995. I finished my bachelor's degree from Mount Scenario College while my kids were very young. I finished that in 2 years. Drove to Wausau 2 or 3 times a week while still working full-time and still raising the family. At the WRPD, I've been a patrol officer. I started at the bottom, worked my way up to the school safety officer, and then to a patrol sergeant, and to my current position as a patrol lieutenant. I've always wanted to run for Wood County Sheriff since I've been a little kid. My uncle was actually my first law enforcement experience back in the 70s. He was a constable in Arvin, so it's just I kind of remember him driving around, so that's why I wanted to be a police officer. And now, based upon my education experience, I feel now the time is right to move into the Sheriff's office. My wife and I also own a business, J Squared Catering. We started that 3 years ago, and we've met a lot of people around the county catering. Through our business, we have to watch how we spend our money. And if I'm elected sheriff, that will be the same way. I'll be fiscally responsible, stay within the budgets that are provided to the department while giving the county superior service. My job right now as a patrol lieutenant, I'm actively engaged on day-to-day operations, hiring, firing, discipline issues, budget issues, but still I go on calls, I back up my guys on calls. I see in the next coming months, I'll bring out different platforms, but just to touch today on the opioid crisis, Wood County since 2005 has had 81 deaths from heroin and methamphetamine overdoses. Our current sheriff and the administration has stated on the radio, WFHR call-in shows, that the heroin issue now is no different than the cocaine issue in the 80s and 90s. I strongly disagree with that because we didn't have 81 people dying from cocaine in the 80s and 90s. I think a new set of eyes in the Sheriff's Department, which I would bring, a different style of leadership, which I would bring to the Sheriff's Department, would be good for this epidemic and to help curb the epidemic. Thank you. I appreciate your vote in August. Thank you for your time.
Candidate for Wood County Sheriff, Ted Ashbeck.
Should I start talking now or you Hi everybody, my name is Theodore Ashbeck. I am a candidate for the Wood County Sheriff's Department. I currently am a captain with the Wood County Sheriff's Department, and my division is the Wood County Jail. I am the jail administrator, so I do work very closely with the sheriff and other entities within the county in order to facilitate certain services that we use. In mine, I guess going back a little bit, my career didn't start off in law enforcement. My career started off in the private sector where I worked for the Excellence Theater Corporation. I worked for the Centerpoint Mall. My intention really to start off was to become an electrician. I was going to go to school for that. And I was working for the Centerpoint. We started having gang problems. Now, my position there was just as an assistant maintenance director and all the other things that we had to do. So we then had to develop a new program in order to combat the gang problem that we were currently having. So working with the community and working with the Stevens Point Police Department, we put together a coalition so we could start gathering information on who we were actually dealing with, and then how we could actually utilize who we were and what we could do to help our own problem. Moving on from that, I ended up then getting a degree in police science and started my full-time law enforcement career with the Shawano City Police Department. Where I worked there, I used my tech geek kind of skills. I like to play with stuff like that. I wrote a grant in order to get MDCs put in their squad cars back in 2001, so we were the test pilot for the state in the northern portion. I then got a grant to get the cameras and digital equipment locked together. We worked with Shawano Municipal Utilities in order to put Wi-Fi so we could connect to our actual database so we could look up people's information and compare information to what we were being told on the street in real time. Then in about 2006, my wife and I decided that as our parents were aging and hers were getting older, that we probably should come back. So I applied and came back to Wood County, where I worked in patrol for about till 2012, where I was promoted then to a sergeant position in the Wood County Jail. As it goes on, I then became the captain in the jail. I've been working with the sheriff and the administration and human services in order to address some of the opioid issues that the jail currently is facing. Then once I got up to speed, started looking at different ways we could start saving money. Just looking through what probation and parole uses us for, how we could work better with different agencies. And during that course of that time, since 2014, we have brought new monies to the jail in order to help pay for the opioids and everything else that we seem to have problems. So to date, I think we're about $242,000 more than we were getting in 2014 just to I plan to take that same approach out to the road, and again, by training our patrol deputies to be evidence techs, making them the investigator that shows up on the scene so they can get your information, they can get your evidence, and they can collect it the proper way immediately, would then help us address bigger issues with our investigative team. So I run for sheriff. Please vote for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Although he has the luxury of not being on the ballot this time, I know Senator Tester would like to say a few words. Well, welcome this morning. You could have wore your nice green Domtar shirt.
I know, I should have. Well, thanks, Craig, and it's great to be here. See so many friends and faces, and just want to thank all the individuals who are running for public office. It is not an easy task, and it's a thankless job. So thank you for your dedication and commitment to this area. It's been a busy year this past year, and we've gotten a lot accomplished for this region down in the legislature, from the Alexander Field expansion, which was a huge win for us. Talking about things like broadband expansion here in the state of Wisconsin. And one of the things I'm really passionate about and trying to focus on a lot is workforce development. Obviously, we all know our worker shortages here in the state of Wisconsin. Despite the fact our unemployment rate is at 3%, our labor participation rate's the highest it's been ever in the state of Wisconsin. And yet, when I hear from employers, many of you in this room, I hear time and time again is that we need workers. We can't find workers. Whether it's people being able to show up on time, being able to pass a drug test, it's difficult out there. I mean, put this in perspective right now. Just within a 25-mile radius of Wisconsin Rapids, there are over 350 jobs. 350 jobs. Good paying jobs. In all different types of sectors, from the paper-making industry to manufacturing to the service industry. We have a lot to offer right now. And so we really have to highlight that. And that's why in this past budget, we gave our school districts a record increase back into the classroom. We invested $40 million in the worker training, which was a 50% increase from the last budget, on top of an additional $20 million in the Foxconn proposal, which is going directly to places like Midstate to train up that workforce, going into the workforce development and nonprofit organizations to make sure that we meet the demands of the workers. And one thing that I do a lot, as it's been mentioned a couple times, whether it was working at Altman Construction or Don Carr just the other day, is I go out and work at a different business each month in the 24th Senate District. And I do this for a number of different reasons. One, to highlight the great employers that we have here in the 24th Senate District, and we have a lot of them. I mean, so many great stories to tell. Two, to highlight what job opportunities out there. Because if it's something I can do, just about anyone can do it. And three, it gives me a much better perspective, because oftentimes, and Scott can attest to this, that in the legislature, when bills come up, we oftentimes get a 30,000-foot view. And oftentimes it's just a snapshot in time of what a bill does or what it doesn't do. And unless you actually go out and walk in someone else's shoes for a day, you don't know how that legislation may impact a company, an individual, a community. And so it gives me a much better understanding and perspective on some of the challenges that we face. Now, moving forward, we still have a lot of work to do. There's no question about that. I'm not on the ballot this fall, but I'm looking forward to going out there and helping our great team and working with guys like Scott to make sure that I've got a great partner in the legislature I can continue to work with, because we've got a lot of other projects that we need to tackle. It was alluded to, we need to get municipal water down to the town of Rome to help with the expansion that's going on down there. We need to continue to make sure that we're keeping a pro-growth environment for job creation and new development in places like Wisconsin Rapids. So I'm looking forward to continue to working with Mayor Brewering and even Arnie in the town of Grand Rapids. And congratulations on being the 7th safest city in the state of Wisconsin.
We're loving it.
But then also in areas like mental health and substance abuse. I know in the coming weeks, Representative Krug, Vandermeer, and myself, we're going to meet with Todd Birch of Aspirus to talk about a new idea and a new concept to deal with mental illness, which has been very successful in other states. So I'm looking forward to having those conversations. So we've gotten a lot done, but the biggest takeaway is there's a lot more that we have to do moving forward. And so it's important that we make sure that we get guys like Scott reelected and keep moving Central Wisconsin in the right direction. So I thank you for your time, and well, let's get out there, let's get to work, and let's go sell our story, because it's a great one. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. We will open it up for questions in a second, but there's kind of a neat event coming up in Madison in March that she would like to give you a little update on.
Yes, if you haven't all heard me before, you're going to hear me again and again and again in the next couple of weeks, continuing to talk about Central Wisconsin Days. March 21st, March 22nd, 2018, right down there in Madison. We know we have great support from Representative Krug, Senator Teston, Nancy Vandermeer down in Madison, but this is a great big state. So we need to make sure that all of the other legislators that are down there in Madison know that rural economic development matters, know that projects like the Tribune building matter, know that projects at Mid-State Technical College and UWSP matter, rural broadband matters, and that we here in Central Wisconsin matter. So please join us. You can sign up online. You can go to the Heart of Wisconsin website, go to the Synergy website, March 22nd and 22nd, March 21st and 22nd, down in Madison for Central Wisconsin Days. And just so you all know, we didn't expect this today to be the only look or have enough information here to let you make your decisions about candidates. This was to give you an initial taste about who's running. River Cities Community Access, Wisconsin Rapids Media, I think it's formally called now. They do a really great job of coordinating with the League of Women Voters for many forums that'll help you hear the candidates in the Central Wisconsin area. So take advantage of those too. And at this point, I think Craig's going to turn it over for questions.
Well, yep, thank you very much. And I was actually in Madison during, well, it was raining there, and all the folks, if you've ever been down there, one of the largest and longest one is Superior Days. Yeah. Basically, the whole city of Superior drives to Madison.
It takes them a week to get there.
Yeah, and it was a couple of weeks ago, and I was just happened to be in the same hotel, the concourse, and the lady that coordinates it, her phone kept going off. And I said, "Oh, that's okay. You can." She goes, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, what's going on?" It was right during the major snow up there, and she had 30 cancellations already. And she said where she lives, they were expecting almost 2 feet of snow. So most of Superior actually made it down there. So I know we're right at 9 o'clock. I think we'd be open for questions. I'm wondering if maybe the easiest for folks, I know the candidates, those of you in office or seeking office, I'm sure would be happy to stick around for a few minutes if you want to talk to them individually. Does that sound like a good plan? Because I know people have to get, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. This is I've been going to Synergy and their Central Wisconsin Days for many years, and I won't be going this year. It'll be the first one I ever miss, but I think they should get up and encourage local municipalities to attend it. Last time I was down there was a lot of representatives from this area, and I would hope that would continue.
Well, all I have to say is God bless you. I'm not exaggerating, and Melissa and Rick can validate this. This trip this year is really the center of the universe is Southwood County and Adams County, basically because of the way the legislature has teed up rural economic development. Our issues, 3 issues categories are going to be the technical colleges, North Central State, or North Central Tech, Mid-State Tech, and then the second one's going to be, there they are. The second one's going to be University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point and their outreach efforts for internships.
Just throw it.
And then the third thing is rural economic development. And that impacts your entire county plus your entire region. The legislature has really teed us up well to go in and talk about the Tribune building, to talk about affordable housing, to talk about employee housing in Rome and in Adams County and other issues coming to the north. So this is the greatest year yet, certainly the best since I've been here. As I finish my first year on the job. For Southern Wood County and Adams County to really make an impact and a splash. And if you want to help promote the Tribune building and affordable housing and employee housing and other economic development issues that are still coming in for rural Wisconsin, you got to be there to help sell this to the legislators. We meet with legislators and with their staffs, I believe is how they set it up. And really relationship building. They're going to already be adjourned. You're adjourned now?
No, we got 1 or 2 more days.
1 or 2 more days, but they're going to be adjourned, so they're going to have time to listen to you. The noise level is going to be down some. It's just a tremendous opportunity. I would encourage all of you to sign up. We're about 40 people now. We'd like to get to about 100. So that just means 60 more from Wood County would be great. Thank you.
We're going to go down and visit them in Madison, and we're going to tell our story down there. But Veggie Regional Economic Growth is hosting an economic summit. Our target date is May 10th. Talked to Rep. Krug, Senator Teston, had a chance to chat a little bit with Governor Walker a couple of weeks ago, and thank him for all the support that he's given Central Wisconsin. But these guys have spent a lot of political capital down there getting the things that we need up here. I talked to Mayor Verwink, and he and I will be hosting this. We'd like to not only get our legislators, but the legislators around the state who have been focusing on the things that we're doing so well here, up here to see where we've been spending their money, to put some more capital back in these guys' banks so we can continue to get the things here we need. That'll be a Thursday, May 10th. We're hoping to have a great legislative turnout here, and talking to other senators and representatives who are interested in seeing what's going on here. We have that good story to tell. We're going to tell it in Madison, Gordon. We're going to invite them back up here to see it for themselves. So hope you'll keep that on your calendar, May 10th.
Thank you. Well, again, thank you. Again, please feel free to talk to the candidates. I'm sure you're their constituents, and that's what it's all about. Again, I'd like to thank Heartland Farms, Domtar, Urkel Worldwide for sponsoring this. Thanks to our River Cities community media. Appreciate you having you here this morning. And the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber. So have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. And again, socialize and get to meet your candidates. So thank you very much.
Yeah.